All right, guys, we're a little bit further along. I've got these two brackets are adjusted. I did have to adjust basically the way that, at least on my machine, these ended up getting pushed, these brackets get pushed all the way to the back, and then these are all the way to the inside. And even then, I still have to push it over slightly. I've got to loosen these up and realign these holes so they're this way, make it easy to put the cotter pins in. That's easy to do. And I'm also going to put some Loctite on these because these are not Nylocks. I've got the bottom is tightened up here. I still need to do one last tightening on it just to be sure everything is cinched down. And I've got the vent mounted. One thing I did want to highlight is you can actually see the light coming in there. I have a couple of comments that I'd seen online about the Ryfab was that it does leak a little bit of air down at the very bottom. Not really a big deal because you can't get it perfect. But what the suggestion was online was to just take a couple of small towels and basically when you're riding, just stuff them down in those in each side. And I always carry, in fact, actually some towels right there. So I always carry those with me anyway. So those can just stuff down in the corners and down there to keep extra air from coming out. But I'm really liking the look. I still have to cut, you can see the interference here. I've still got to cut basically this lip off. According to the instructions, you basically cut up this line and then essentially along the corner here. And then I do have that cap rail that's going to cover up the cut line. So I've still got to do that and then do the final adjustments up here and then tighten everything down. But it's nearly done. Thus far, I am liking it. I have noticed a couple of little quality things, like for example, this bracket right here, you can see when they bent this metal cracked. Now I don't think that that's really a huge deal. I don't really expect this to break, but if it does break, that's where it's going to break. So I did notice that. It's something that some weld could patch up and everything. But other than that, I mean, the quality is really good. I've had little abrasions, which you're going to get when you bolt it on as far as the powder coat goes, but that's just to be expected. And I do want to be sure, you can kind of see down here, no problem with the gap. I want to be sure up here at the top it's going to lay flat. I think it will. Over here it's going to be tight and snug as well, which is probably a good thing. But that's where we stand right now. Stay tuned for more, and I'll let you know what happens next. Guys, I've got the bulk of it done. I have noticed a couple of things. One thing, I still have to put on this trim piece, which will cover up here. I'm actually hoping that once that's on there, when I put the screws in, it's going to pull up this piece right here. So the roof only comes on like the top of the line model, and then this plastic piece right here comes in all models. It's just like a sunshade or whatever. What I've noticed is when I put the windshield up, you may have seen it in the time lapse, when I put the windshield up, the weather stripping is getting caught on this. I'm having to use a trim tool to basically push the windshield in. It does look like, I'll show you here, it does look like the windshield wiper is going to be perfect. That'll be great, really, really nice. But one thing that I've noticed on the inside is, I don't know if you can see in the gap here. So that's my finger right there. There's a curve in the metal, the way they designed this, getting over here towards the middle of the machine. I mean, I can get a couple of fingers through there. So that's certainly not going to seal very well. I don't know what the deal is there. Not entirely sure. That I don't see any way to fix that. I think that's a design flaw, honestly. You just have to prove it out. I don't know what the net result's going to be, but we'll try it. Overall, though, I still really like the windshield. I'm really pleased with it. The look is great. I kind of look forward to testing out the vent, seeing how much air it actually puts through. But the parts fit together fairly well. When you lower it down, you have to bend these over. There's just no way around it. Not a big deal. And then even these brackets right here, you may, if the time lapse caught it, you may actually see in there where I actually bent these further up. That could have been just because of the way that my original holes were drilled. So I'm not real worried about that. That was no big deal. But what I'm doing now is I've got these fully tightened down. They're actually bottomed out. So if you're wondering, about this gap up here, kind of tighten it down more. These are bottomed out on both sides. So I don't see any way to close that gap right there. Again, it may not be a big deal, but stay tuned for the final wrap up, and then we'll get some trail reviews on it and see what happens. All right, guys, I have got the install finished on the Ryfab windshield and got this upper plate mounted. I think I mentioned in an earlier video that my hope was that by putting this in and screwing this in, it was actually going to pull this sun visor piece up some. Truth be told, it actually made the condition worse. I've had to remove, you can see the piece of weather stripping right there. I've had to basically remove the weather stripping from the middle of the panel, and I even had to, you can see it on the video, let's try to get it here for you. Some of the creases here, might be able to see it this way maybe. Some of the bends in the metal, you see how rippled this is now. I basically had to bend this to get it to fit, and I loosened these up. I loosened these up. Did everything I could to move everything down, but it would not go past it. And in fact, you can even see maybe right there. There's a rubbing spot where the powder coat's rubbing off because it's metal on metal contact. Overall, everything it's well made. I'll give them credit. It's very well made. I like the design. I like the concept with it. I like the fact that I've got a windshield wiper now that's functional, and I really like the whole thing. What I don't like is this, even the holes down here, I can deal with those. What I don't like is the fact that I've got, you can see right here, I mean, that's going to the outside. So if you're coming up through rain, what do you think is going to happen? Rain's going to come up through there, just drip right down. The only thing I know to do is to basically take some aluminum stock, maybe some L bracket stock, and basically kind of put my own type of shield there. I don't know what else to do. I could do something here that's flat and take that piece of weather stripping and kind of go from where I cut it here and where I cut it on the other side, and just go up here. There's already some mounting places here. I could also mount it to, I've got this bracket right here, could mount it to that as well, so that I could try to seal this up more. But I don't know what else to do about it, and you can't predict these things. I mean, there's certain manufacturing tolerances here. I just wish that the frame of the windshield was just a hair shorter. I mean, it's not even a 1/4 of an inch. It's probably like an 1/8 of an inch. But there's no easy way to do that. I mean, you could take this, you could cut it off, but then you have to take the hinge off, got to remount it. And I think it is welded on. So there's no easy way down here because of the bends up here, because this is one piece that's bent over. There's no easy way there. There's just no easy way to fix this problem. And the biggest part here is the roof. And it's not even really the roof, it's actually this piece right here. So I'd say it's possible that if I had, and maybe this is where I messed up. Maybe I didn't cut this back far enough. I mean, that's the only thing I can maybe guess at this point is that that's the issue. But the instructions they're not clear on that, because this piece right here isn't even included in the instructions. So I just did the best that I could, and the only thing I know to do is to maybe maybe unscrew this, do the cut again, move it back just a little bit. That would probably take care of the bumping, but it still doesn't solve the problem right here of this gap. I mean, that was there before, even with the windshield closed, and that wither stripping was not cutting it. So, you know, I don't know what the solution there is for that. You know, that's that right there is just a, I hate calling it a design flaw because it's such a good product, but the truth is that the bend in this piece right here is just not that dramatic. So anyway, that's kind of where we stand. For opening and closing it, I'm not going to open and close it a lot. I don't think it's either going to be open or closed, but anyway, that's where we are. Stay tuned for more. I'm planning on going riding tomorrow. I'll give a good review after I'm back.